ready with me, I'm using my Embrolyisse cream to moisturize my skin before moving on to primers. I used 2 primers for this look. I used a mixture of the HangoverX and the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer. So I'm using the Too Faced one first, and then using the Makeup Forever one just in the areas where I feel like I have some pores, and just putting that and blending it all into my skin. Once I'm done with that, we are moving straight onto eyes. So I'm using the Colour Tattoo in the shade Creme de Nude, and I'm putting that all over my eyelids as a nice base. And this is going to help the eyeshadows last longer and the colours to really pop. You guys must know the drill by now, but then I'm going in with my Wellbeing Bio Brightener powder, and I am putting that all over my eyelids as well. And this is just going to set all of that primer in place, and it's going to make the eyeshadows easier to blend. For eyeshadows, I'm using this new palette which I got. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye palette, and I'm taking this shade right here first, and I'm applying that on to my brow bone as a really natural kind of highlight. These eyeshadows are insane, by the way. I think they are some of the best eyeshadows I have ever used, and that is definitely a statement. Then I'm taking this cool toned light brown shade, and I'm working that into the crease and kind of starting off the transition shades. I always like working from light to dark in my transition shades, so then that's why I'm using this color, but then I am going to go in and deepen that up. And for deepening, I'm using this kind of darker, cooler toned brown, and I'm applying that into the crease, and I'm also concentrating that color into the outer corner as well, ever so slightly. And this is just going to help blend all the colors out when we get later on into some of the stages of the eyeshadow. So once I'm happy with the way both my eyes are looking, I'm using this Morphe 12Z palette in this beautiful matte khaki shade, and I'm putting that on to the center of my eyelids. And the reason why I'm only putting this onto the center is because we're going to blend 2 other colors into the inner and outer corners. I'm just blending all those lines out to make sure that it's not just like a blocky blob of color, and then I'm going back in with that same khaki shade, and I'm just intensifying all the colors and blending them out as well. Now moving on to the inner corner, we're using that same shade that we used on the brow bone, and I'm applying that to the inner corners like you can see here, and building up that color until it's nice and kind of strong. And just so that the green has not been taken away, I am going back in with that khaki shade with nothing on the brush really, just kind of blending that all in, and then using that same shadow for the inner corner, same brush to blend that in as well. Now I'm taking a mixture of these 2 shades, the black and the cool tone dark brown, and I'm working that into the outer kind of part of my eye. At first I wasn't too sure whether I wanted this to be like a winged out look or not, but then I was like, yep, definitely winged out. We want to go all glam. So I'm using my Makeup Forever like primer just to kind of angle the eyeshadow, and the good thing about this is because you can kind of like pull it away, so you can make sure that you're doing it all right and you're happy with the color. And then I'm going back in with some of the khaki and blending all the shades out until I'm happy with the way that it's looking. Moving on to eyeliner, I'm using my Master Ink Matte Eyeliner by Maybelline, and I'm doing the usual, just doing like a really fierce, strong winged eye. If you guys would like to know how I do my winged eyeliner in depth, I will leave a tutorial of it in the info box, because this I go into like in like quite a lot of detail of exactly how I get my eyeliner the way that I like it. So definitely check the link out if you're struggling with eyeliner or if you want some tips and tricks. Moving on to tight lining, I'm using my Urban Decay Perversion eyeliner, and I am tight lining my upper waterline. And once I'm happy with that, I'm moving on to mascara. So I'm using my current obsession, which is the L'Oreal False Lash Sculpt Mascara. And at first I wasn't going to apply falsies, so I went in with like a good 2 layers of this on my lashes. But in the end, I did add some falsies. I was in a major rush doing this Get Ready With Me because I didn't like judge my timing, which is really bad. So I'm kind of bit here, there, everywhere in this tutorial, but it's okay. We'll work with it. I'm using my Makeup Forever Brow Sculpting brow filler, and I'm just kind of filling in my brows. You guys know the drill. I really like this. I've been using this a lot recently, and I love how it gives my brows a really nice, soft and natural look and feel to it in comparison to like a pomade. Then I'm going to set them in place using my ABH Clear Brow Gel, and you guys know the drill, just kind of brushing that all in. Now we're going to move on to skin. So I'm using this YSL Neutraliser in the peach shade, and I'm just kind of neutralizing any kind of areas where I have any pigmentation and like dark circles. So I'm doing underneath my eyes and around my mouth, and you need the slightest amount of this. I always find that with color correcting, less is definitely more. So I'm just blending that all away with my beauty blender. And for foundation, I'm using the IT Cosmetics CC cream. I use a mixture of tan and medium, I believe, and I'm just kind of dotting this onto my face everywhere. And then I'm blending everything away with my Artiste brush, and I'm using this because I was in a rush and I wanted to kind of get my base done really quickly. So here I am just blending away, and if you'd like to see my first impressions and demo and review of this brush, then I recently did a video on this, so I'll leave a link to that in the info box for you guys as well. Now I'm just adding a little bit more coverage into the areas that I kind of felt like needed it, and I'm just blending all of that away as well. And then I moved on to concealer. So for concealer, I used a mixture of two. I used the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer and the Maybelline Eraser Eye. Now the IT Cosmetics concealer is so thick. It reminds me of the Kevyn Aucoin Essential Skin Enhancer. So definitely go light-handed on this because it is majorly pigmented and very thick. And I'm just blending all these lines that I've made on my face. You guys know the drill. Under my eyes, my forehead, my bridge of my nose, around my mouth, and a little bit underneath my contour away with my beauty blender. And then once I'm done with that, I'm setting all of those areas in place with that same Well People powder. And I did find that this Bye Bye Eye Under Eye IT Cosmetics concealer did crease underneath my eyes, so I'm not too sure about it yet, but it's definitely good if you like high full coverage. Once I'm done with all of that, it's time to bronze up the skin. I'm using my ultimate favorite bronzer right now, that's the Giorgio Armani liquid bronze, and I'm just using this in the usual places, so the hollows of my cheekbones, around my jawline and my hairline. And once I'm happy with the way that that's all looking, I did go in and contour ever so slightly in those same areas using my Kevyn Aucoin Sculpt powder in the shade medium. So I'm just kind of going over the areas that we bronzed, and this is going to help set everything in place, and it's going to last a lot longer as well. And I like using a cool tone powder for this. And here I'm just slightly contouring my nose as well, and just adding a little bit of concealer on just to make sure that everything looks right and proportional. Going in with my Dallas boxed bronzer slash blusher. It's a very unusual shade. I'm just popping that onto my apples of my cheeks before going in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Starlight Illuminator on the tops of my cheeks, and then the usual areas that I also like highlighting, which is the bridge of my nose and also my Cupid's bow as well. Now we're going to move on to finishing the eyes off. So I'm taking Twice Baked, which is an Urban Decay eyeliner, and I'm lining my lower waterline with this. I wanted to go in with a brown because I didn't want the lower part of my eyes to look too heavy. And then to kind of smoke out the lower lash line, I'm taking this dark cool toned brown and just running that along my lower lash line just to kind of smoke it out. And I love doing this because it really does help balance out the eyes. But if you're not really comfortable with this, always go in with a really light hand. Then the last step is to sort out the bottom lashes. I'm using the same L'Oreal Sculpt mascara, and I'm just applying that to them, and this seriously does really amazing things to the lower lashes as well as the top lashes. Sometimes I find mascaras do one or the other. They're not generally good at both, but this one is definitely good. Now, surprise, I'm just using one liquid lipstick for this look. This is so not normal for me, but this is Stripped by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm just putting this all over my lips, and I feel like this has become my favorite nude lipstick. It is so beautiful. Once I'm done with that, we're just going to finish off with some lashes. Here I'm using some Backstage lashes in the style Soho, I believe they're called, and these are beautiful. I've been wearing these quite a lot, and I've been getting lots of questions on them, and they are amazing. Now I'm going to lock everything in place using the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, and then it's time to sort out the hair. This is just naturally air dried hair, and I'm just straightening it with these amazingly beautiful GHD straighteners. They are from their new range and they are gorgeous. Once I was happy with my hair, just kept it straight because I was running out of time, I used a C by Giorgio Armani as my perfume, and then I was pretty much done. I really hope you guys liked this khaki gradient eye that I decided to come up with yesterday. I really wanted to show you guys my outfit, my shoes, my handbag and everything like that, but I was running so late that I could only show you like the top part of my outfit, and this is a beautiful play suit from Missguided. I will also leave a link to it in the info box below, but it is so comfortable. I love it. So yeah, this is the final look of this Get Ready With Me. I really hope you enjoyed it. I went to see The Jungle Book. It was amazing. I highly recommend it, but for now you guys, I will see you all in my next video. Bye!